Good afternoon, everyone. Today I want to talk to you all about a controversial subject, abortion. An abortion is a procedure that ends any possibility of what could have been. I want to talk to you about the facts of abortion, who is getting the abortion, and why our society has failed to honor God. Abortion may be the easiest way out of a self-imposed consequence, but never the best way. What does society teach us? According to the website verywellhealth.com, it tells us that the Supreme Court ruling in Roe v. Wade, abortion is a fundamental right under the United States Constitution, and prohibiting abortion would violate due process clause of the 14th Amendment, which protects us against state actions to deny the right to privacy, including a woman's qualified right to terminate her pregnancy. What does the Bible teach us? According to the website gotquestions.org, the Bible does not specifically address abortion. However, when we read the Bible for ourselves, we learn that in Jeremiah 1:5, God tells us that He knows us before we were even in the womb. In Psalms 139:13 through 16, God talks about His presence and His active role in our creation and formation of us in the womb. In Exodus 21, verses 22 through 25, the penalty of death is given for someone who causes the death of a baby. Who are the people that are getting abortions, and why is our society not giving us better options? According to the website verywellhealth.com, U.S. women ages 24 and younger account for almost 52% of those who have an abortion. Of this number, 19% are teenagers. Women of every social class and race decide on abortion. 78% of women who have abortions have reported that they do have a religious affiliation. Abortion is colorblind and is very much a part of the church. Of the women obtaining abortions for the first time, according to this website, 50% had not been using any type of contraception when they conceived, despite their sexual partner's agreeing that pregnancy was not an option. Society is telling us that even when we make the wrong choices, we do not have to live with the consequences. The Bible has given us guidelines on sexual morality to follow for a reason. God has already been here in 2018, and He knew we would be a nation that would murder the innocent. That is one of the reasons He established marriage and not to have sex until marriage. What to expect once you have made the choice to abort this beautiful life? And the procedures based on time in the womb, according to the website foundationsoflife.org. Here are a few of the examples of the stages of the pregnancy and what type of procedure you can have. The manual vacuum aspiration is a procedure that can be done up to 7 weeks after last menstrual period. A long thin tube is inserted into the uterus with a large syringe attached to the tube. It sucks out the embryo. Suction curettage is a procedure that is done during the 6 to 4 weeks after LMP and is the most common. Due to the child being much larger, the cervix has to be opened with metal rods and a hard plastic tube is then inserted into the uterus. A suction machine is connected to the hard plastic tube, and what is left after the doctor scrapes the child with a long-shaped knife will be sucked out by the machine. Dilation and evacuation, known as D&E, is a procedure that is done between 13 to 14 weeks after LMP, or what is known as the second trimester of pregnancy. The child is too large to be broken up by suction alone and will not pass the suction tubing. During this procedure, the cervix must be painfully forced open wider than in a first trimester abortion. Thin rods made of seaweed are inserted into the cervix a day or two before the abortion. Once the opening is wide enough, the doctor will crush the child's skull with forceps, so its lifeless body will be easily removed. After the baby is removed, a sharp knife is used to scrape away the contents of the uterus and other remaining tissues of your baby, of what your baby was left behind. Dilation and extraction, known as DNX, it's also called a partial birth abortion, is a procedure that takes 3 days. The first few days, the cervix is stretched open with the seaweed rods. On the third day, ultrasound is used to look at the legs of the child. The legs are then grabbed by the forceps and the baby is yanked out to the point of its head showing. Once its head is showing, scissors are inserted into the base of the child's skull to create an opening for the infant's brain to be removed. The skull then collapses and the remainder of the now lifeless body is removed. Now I want to talk to you about another avenue people could go instead of having an abortion. Adoption. Adoption gives us the ability for life to flourish as our God intended. What are the numbers comparing the number of kids murdered to the number of kids saved? According to deaconessadoption.org, the CDC estimates that there were more than 600,000 abortions performed every year in the United States alone, whereas there are less than 15,000 adoptions of children that have been released by the parents during that same year. Why give the child up for adoption? According to the website consideringadoption.com, whether you are in your first trimester or in the delivery room, it is never too late to give the child up for adoption. So many people are willing to adopt a child so that they can give the child the love that it deserves. It is even possible to search for an adopting family on your own or seek the help of an adoption agency. No one wants to be in a position of making a choice on whether to abort a child. It is also hard for a woman who wants to be a mother to live with the very hard truth that she may never get to carry a child in her womb. Can we not overlook our selfishness and allow joy to come into the life of that unborn baby and that brand new mother or father that thought they would never have children? In concluding, there are so many different circumstances that lead to abortion. Rape and incest are a couple of the many. I would hate to be forced to have to make a decision about either one of those. Please understand that I am not trying to pass judgment on any circumstance, because this is not what I'm here to do. I want to persuade you to make a different choice if you are ever faced with this hard decision. An abortion costs estimated $2,000. Adoption costs the adopted family anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000. What if these numbers were reversed? What if we had legislation in place that made it less costly to adopt and costly to abort? Shouldn't we help those kids? Shouldn't we help those who seek life instead of making it easy to throw life away? In closing, I encourage all of you, man or woman, to seek God in everything you do. He always makes a way. I want to leave you with this. The Supreme Court of the United States issued a decision on Roe v. Wade on January 22, 1973, with a 7-2 majority vote in favor of Jane Roe. The court deemed abortion a fundamental right under the United States Constitution. That same Constitution that says they are to serve one nation under God. That same God that the Supreme Court has blatantly disregarded. That same God teaches us in James 1 verses 5 of the Holy Bible that He knew us before He even formed us in the womb. We all come alive at the point of conception according to our Father in heaven. If we are truly a nation built on Christian principles, then we cannot look at abortion any other way than as murder. I want to leave you with the King James Dictionary definition of murder. And I also must say this to you. Regardless of the choice we make, God still loves you so very much, and He will forgive you. All you have to do is ask Him. Abortion is a burden that is very hard to carry. It is also a burden that can be released, and only because Jesus died so that you can live. Jesus did not abort us. He gave us the ability to be reborn. Murder, the act of unlawfully killing a human being with premeditated malice by a person of sound mind. The law of God that is found in Exodus 20, verse 13 of the original manuscript states, "Thou shalt not murder." Thank you, and God bless.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Gianna Jessen, and I would like to thank you so much for the opportunity to testify here today. My biological mother was 7.5 months pregnant when she went to a Planned Parenthood and was advised, and they advised her to have a late-term saline abortion. This method of abortion burns the baby inside and out, blinding and suffocating the child, who is then born dead, usually within 24 hours, and there should be a photo there. Yes, this is what I survived. Instead of dying, after 18 hours of being burned in my mother's womb, I was delivered alive in an abortion clinic in Los Angeles on April the 6th, 1977. You can see a photo as well of my medical records. My medical records state, born alive during saline abortion, 6 a.m. Victory! Thankfully, the abortionist was not at work yet. Had he been there, he would have ended my life with strangulation, suffocation, or leaving me there to die. Instead, a nurse called an ambulance, and I was rushed to a hospital. Doctors did not expect me to live. I did. I was later diagnosed with cerebral palsy, which was caused by a lack of oxygen to my brain while surviving an abortion. I was never supposed to hold up my head or walk. I do. And cerebral palsy, ladies and gentlemen, is a tremendous gift to me. I was eventually placed in foster care and later adopted. And hear me clearly, I forgive my biological mother. Within the first year after my birth, I was used as an expert witness in a case where an abortionist had been caught strangling a child to death after being born alive. Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, said the following: "The most merciful thing that a large family does to one of its infant members is to kill it." Planned Parenthood is not ashamed of what they have done or continue to do, but we will have to give an account as a nation before God for our apathy and for the murder of over 50 million children in the womb. Every time we falter in courage as individuals and fail to confront this evil, I wonder how many lives have been lost in our silence while we make sure we are lauded among men and that we don't offend anyone. How many children have died and been dismembered